I'm Dan Berman, one of the creators of 515, and I'm going to show you how to play the game. The goal in 515 is to become the strongest climber as quickly as possible. But you can't just claim to be the strongest, you have to prove it by climbing something. To win the game, you want to be the first person to succeed on a 515. Let's start by setting up the game. The booty deck has gear cards, actions, setbacks, and weather cards. Shuffle that first and put it at the top of the table. The climb decks are filled with famous climbs from around the world. Shuffle each of those decks and place them on the table as well. Now give each player 7 tokens to indicate that their starting climbing strength is 5'7", and put any extra tokens you have to the side. Next, we're going to pick our climbing styles. Each style gives you a special bonus and increases your climbing strength on one style of climb. For this game, I will be a sport climber. The last part of setup is to deal everybody 2 booty cards. Here I got a piece of gear, so I can put that in play right away. And I've got an action card that could help me out if someone plays something bad on me later, so I'll keep that in my hand. Right now, everybody has a climbing strength of 5'7", except on their style of climb, where they're 5'9". For me, that means I can climb anything that's 5'6" difficulty or lower, and any sport climb that's 5'8" or lower. On a climb card, the number after the decimal place is the climb's difficulty. So to climb this 5'15" sport climb and win the game, I would need to be at least a 5'16" climber on sport climbs. Before I can get that strong, I'll need to build up my climbing strength, and the way to do that is to climb easier climbs. Each time you succeed on a climb, your climbing strength will go up by 1. You can also raise your climbing strength by collecting gear. Right now, my gear gives me a bonus on trad climbs and alpine climbs. I want to emphasize that it's not important to be the strongest climber. You have to prove it by being the first climber to succeed on a 515. The way 515 proceeds is through rounds. Each round has 3 phases: the crag phase, where you choose whether to climb in this round or not; the setback phase, when you get to play negative cards on the other climbers; and the climb phase, when you find out whether you succeeded on your climbs or you're going to have to attempt to bail off. Let's go through an example of each phase in one round. I'll be the lead climber or dealer for this round. The crag phase starts with the leader flipping over 1 less climb than the number of players. In a 3-player game like I've set up here, I would flip 2 climbs over. Now each player, starting with the leader, gets to choose whether to attempt a climb or just take 2 booty cards and put those in their hand. You can attempt a climb alone if your climbing strength, that's your base strength, 5'7", plus any bonuses, like my sport climber ability, makes you stronger than the climb's difficulty. So here I can attempt 27 years of climbing because I'm a 5'9" sport climber, and this is a 5'8" difficulty climb. If I wanted to attempt Flower of High Rank, I would need to partner with somebody else, because I'm not strong enough on trad climbs. On trad climbs, I'm a 5'7" base climber with 1 bonus, so I'm only 5'8". If I were to team up with another player, I would get my own climbing strength, 5'8" on trad climbs, plus any of their bonuses, but not their base climbing strength. You'll notice that on climb cards, there's a number of booty indicated on the bottom right. This is how many cards you earn if you succeed on a climb. If you have a partner, you have to agree in advance on how to split these up before you start climbing. For now, I'll attempt 27 years of climbing by myself. So I'll say to the other players, I'm attempting 27 years of climbing. I am 5'9" on this 5'8", climbing. This way everybody knows that it's the next player's turn to choose a climb. Once everybody has either taken booty cards or chosen a climb to attempt, it's time for the setback phase. We'll go around to each player in order, and this will be their one chance to play as many setbacks or weather cards on the other players who are attempting climbs as they want. So for example, I don't have any setbacks or weather, so I would just tell the other players, climb on. But maybe player 2 has this rockfall card, which they want to play on me. Rockfall is -2 to my climbing strength. So now I'm only a 5'7" climber. I was 5'9", -2, 5'7", on a 5'8" climb. So unless I save myself in the climb phase, I'm going to have to try to bail. Finally, it's the climb phase, where we're going to figure out who succeeded on their climb and who has to try to bail. As the leader, I'm up first again. Because of the rock fall, I'm not strong enough right now, but fortunately, I got this action card at the beginning of the game, which gives me +2 to my climbing strength. I can use that to offset the rock fall, so I can still send this climb. Because I sent my climb, I go up 1 climbing strength, and I get the number of booty cards, 1, shown on the climb. Now as an example, let's say that I didn't have this action card. Because I'm not able to send my climb, I would be forced to try to bail. To successfully bail, you have to roll 1 die and get a 5 or above. If you get a 4 or below, you epic, and you have to discard a piece of gear that's in play or in your hand. Be careful when you attempt a 515. If you epic on a 515, the consequences are much worse. We're now at the end of the round, and all the players need to count the cards in their hand. You can only have 4 cards in your hand at the end of the round. If you have too many, you either have to put them in play, sell them, I'll come back to that in a second, or discard any extra cards. When the next round starts, the dealer will be the next player going clockwise. That's the blue player. And one important thing to know is that you aren't allowed to flip climbs from the 515 deck as the leader until your climbing strength is 516 on at least one style of climb. Okay, you know how to play the game now, so I'm just going to go over some other small details that will help the game go a bit smoother. So here on the table, I'm showing you an example of a setback that forces another player to pause their climb. When someone plays a setback like this on you, you skip the climb phase, so you don't get to finish your climb. And then you also skip the crag phase of the following round. Because you're out climbing and don't get to participate in the crag phase, there's 2 changes. First, the leader is going to flip 1 less climb. It's always 1 less than the number of players in the crag phase. And if it was your turn to lead, you get skipped. Once the other climbers have picked their climbs or taken their booty cards, you come back in for the next setback round. Let's also take a closer look at the gear cards. Here I've got 2 examples of them. You'll notice that gear cards have 2 things on the bottom, a type and a dollar value. You can have one of each type in play, headgear, harness, shoes, and you also get 2 items in your backpack, so 2 pack items. You can keep extra gear in your hand, and if you want to, you can swap that out depending on what climbs get flipped over during the crag phase in a particular round. The dollar value is for selling gear. You can discard or sell $100 at the same time to hire a guide. This gives you +1 climbing strength permanently, and it's a great way to get rid of extra cards at the end of a round. That's all you need to know. Keep your rulebook on hand so you can look things up during your first game. Have fun, and good luck climbing your first 515.